Good afternoon. My name is John Santisteban, and I'm glad to have a big crowd in front of me here. Representing Aries Security, and we're going to spend the next 20 minutes learning about a training system that we call Capture the Packet. So hopefully you'll get some good information out of it. Please, if you have any questions as I go along, please stop me and ask your questions. And button's not working. There you go. First of all, regarding Capture the Packet, one of the things that's unique about this product is that it wasn't originally intended to be a training platform. Our origin actually starts with, is everybody familiar with DEFCON, or the hacker conference? We've been running a hacker village at DEFCON for almost 25 years now. And about 6 years ago, I think it was, a gentleman from DOD came down there looking for a hacker competition, a black badge event that could be turned into a training platform. Very forward thinking. Anyway, we competed for an opportunity to actually provide the product to DOD, and we won that contract. And from that contract came Capture the Packet as we now see it. So it's, again, we took a hacker competition, turned it into a DOD training platform under DOD contract. So go figure. Anyway, since then we've had the opportunity to do a number of different solutions for DOD. So we both have a defensive cyber training platform, which is what we call Capture the Packet. And then we've since developed an offensive training platform based upon the same platform here. One of the things that's really unique about our product as well is the fact that we've actually been involved with the Army with PCTE. So actually our product's been used for a number of the pilot projects for PCTE and continues to be considered as a prime source for PCTE as a content provider. The product itself, what's intriguing about it is the fact that originally as it was designed, as you see up in the upper right-hand corner, it was in a big case, and it continues to be provided as a big case. Reason why that was thought to be unique and valuable is because of the fact that it's a standalone product that does not require the internet. So consequently, the DoD loves it because they could put it in classified environments where they could do their training as needed on ships as training as needed without the need for the internet. So very secure application. The application now also is provided as a software as a service as well. But again, both products are unique. In fact, something that we just came up with was actually having the standalone system in a backpack for special forces, where they can actually go out in the field and have 8 concurrent trainees on the system at one time, using a backpack environment. Anyway, regarding the system itself, the training actually is a hands-on environment, so it's not just rote learning, it's actual functional learning through the use of solutions or challenges that are provided to each participant. So they have a challenge, they use tools, in fact, tools they use every day to solve those challenges. Now, what's unique about this is, remember, the origin of this thing was a black badge event. So it is a gamified learning environment. So as these students compete, as they learn, they compete against each other. There's a scoreboard up, so again, they see those challenges, they see the points that they're getting, and obviously it's a reinforcement for a lot of them, although we've learned over time that these kids don't need reinforcement. They get into the system and they just don't want to quit. They want to keep learning. Again, gamified learning, and I apologize if I'm going to turn my back because I got to read this thing from behind me here. The other thing that's unique about this product too is that it's not just a training system, it's also an assessment system. And that's the key element for a lot of folks right now. They need to be able to assess these kids before they come in, either into the military or basically shifting from one job in the military to cyber. This is a great tool for assessing what those skills are before they get into it, and then again, developing those skills over time. But it's also for individuals and teams. So it's both a team environment and also for, individuals and teams to do the training. And I'll talk a little bit more about that as we go on here. And as I mentioned before, the internet's not required for that standalone system. So that's, again, a valuable option. Hands-on by learning, solving challenges using tools. So now the other thing that's unique about this product is what we call tool agnostic. So now a lot of systems actually require you to use specific tools. we don't require anything. So basically, you can use tools that you use every day to do this training. So that's a valuable insight here because of the fact that now these kids can actually learn using what they do every day. And then, as we try and say, they learn how they learn how they fight. So they actually use the tools that they use daily. Gamified learning, as I mentioned before, they earn points. This is a really unique feature. It's called an anti-collusion feature. Now, basically the way it works, let's say if you were running a competition, you had 25 participants. You as the administrator, and I'll show you a little bit more about how this all happens, you basically set up the game. So you select challenges, you basically get them all ready, students are ready, and then you start the game. Now what's going to happen is all 25 of them are going to get the same challenges. And then, so let's say they all pick the 50-point challenge for file forensics. They all open it up at the same time. What's going to happen is every single one of them are going to have a different question. It's going to be the same question, but with a different little bite to it. So let's, for example, they're looking for a password. So it'll say, what's the password for Joe? The next guy's going to have, what's the password for Phil? On and on and on. So all 25 of them are going to get something different. So what's good about that? What's good about that is two things. One is the fact that they can't cheat. Because the answer that I get is going to be different from the answer that you get, even if you're sitting right next to me. So, and I've seen this time and again, and this is the craziest thing I've ever seen in a competition. But we've seen 25 people, they're all competing against each other. All of a sudden you see one guy stand up and go over to another person to help them. Now, is that wrong for that person to help them? No. It is wrong if they gave him the answer, and all they did was put the answer in. But all they can do is basically say, listen, I got the right answer. This is how I did it. And then they basically now are teaching someone else how to get that answer. That's a valuable opportunity there of learning. So you got someone teaching someone else how to do it, and again, you eliminate that cheating capability. But the other important part is, too, is that let's say that the best way to learn is by repetition, right? So let's say you're new at this whole thing, you're new at file forensics, you basically are now taking this training on your own. You take the same question over and over again. Every single time that you get it, you're going to get a different question. Even though it's the same level, it's the basic level, you're going to get the same thing. So again, it really, really helps in that rote learning process to be able to just do the same lessons over and over. And as you progress and get better at it, then you just go to the next level. There's 5 different skill levels. So again, you can step up on your own, going from level to level. Okay? Knowledge base. The other thing too that's really important about this product is that it's developed for self-learning. You don't need an instructor in front of you. So you can take the most basic person, and let's say they just don't understand anything about searching the internet, doing analysis, packet analysis. They can go into the knowledge base, and literally it will walk them through the whole process of being able to do packet analysis, doing this, doing that. By the way, I'm not technical. I'm a business development guy, so I'm going to talk to you guys like you're just ordinary people that don't know all this technology, because I don't. But anyway, needless to say, it's very, very user-friendly. And again, it helps the individual be able to self-learn at a good level. The system actually has its own traffic generator, which is important because, again, what we've learned from DoD is the fact that there's traffic generators that are out there, but they're very repetitive. This thing here continues to generate new traffic, so it really makes it challenging. And you can actually crank up the difficulty or the amount of information that's going through there, again, depending on the level of the expertise of the people that are training. And I'll talk a little bit more about this Cyber PT card. And then again, as I mentioned, something that we have 5 different difficulty levels. Relative to the skills, you can see over on the right-hand corner, there's 17 categories. There's over 100 different skills that we can work on. Those are the 17 categories that we can work through. Okay? And then again, this is just a sample of some of the skills themselves. You see 2 3-letter words up there. One is JQR and one is NIST. Is everybody familiar with the NIST framework? You guys are familiar? So basically, the NIST framework put together by DoD, not by DoD, I'm sorry, by the federal government, is a real smart idea. Basically, they took cyber security jobs, and then they went at it and said, okay, to perform this job well, what do you need to be able to do? What tasks do you need to be able to perform? And they created a list of tasks. And then within those tasks, they said, okay, what skills do you need to do to be able to do those tasks? And then just broke it down that way. and then basically say, okay, so this is how you train someone to do this job, learning these skills, doing these tasks, and doing this job. We took that same framework and incorporated it into our product, so that now if you have a file forensic analyst, used as a supervisor, all you have to do is simply say, okay, fine, this is what you need to train on. And they go in there, and then basically now they could just go step by step, skill by skill, task by task, to be able to train. So they train exactly for the job that they're doing, which is, again, unique. Because a lot of times kids are training, and they're doing something out here that has nothing to do with what they have to do. The other thing is JQR. That's something we just incorporated. We're actually working with the Army right now to incorporate JQR into our product. So basically JQR, in fact, I've got a slide. JQR basically is a checklist of things that kids have to be able to do their job. And this is the military actually specifying what are the things that you need to do. We are incorporating that into our product as well. So again, you as a military supervisor can actually tell somebody, you need to do these things. Go through the product and actually get through these things and be able to show me that you passed all this. And again, I'll be talking to you a little bit more about how exactly you show somebody that you accomplished what you were supposed to do. All right, and again, I talked about the NICE framework. The other thing that we're doing now, too, is we incorporate CPEs into this. So again, CPEs are basically certificates to say, hey, I finished something, you get a certain amount of points. Why is that valuable? One, kids like to get stuff. They like to put stuff on their wall. This is a certificate basically saying they accomplished something. So that's number one. So is at the end of the year, they go to their boss and say, hey, listen, these are all the things that I did. Because, again, they have to have certain things that they have to be able to do before they can make rank, before they can get raises or whatever it might be. One way of being able to show that. Okay? Again, shows some more challenges. Single sign-on is important. Also, too, another thing that's really important, too, is that we've included APIs. So you can actually tie this system into the learning management system. So now, because the DoD is continually maintaining training records, this can be actually tied into their training record. So that can be continually updated as well. Okay, makes sense? All right, and then I talked a little bit, it mentioned a little bit about reporting. This is another unique feature about this product that you don't see in that many products out there. And time and again, I've had people come to me and say, God, we have no way of managing or monitoring how people develop or where they were at as a baseline and where they are now. Again, we have a very robust reporting system, very graphic, as you can see. You got a spider chart there that just shows the different skills, obviously where they're at each particular skill level. A dial-up monitor there, again, showing where they're at. It shows the different skills, again, the strength within each skill. Again, very easy for you as a supervisor or a manager to be able to help people understand. This is where you're at, this is where you need to be, this is what you got to do. And they can do this on their own as well, so it doesn't require a supervisor to do it for them. Okay. Another thing, too, is that, again, the system comes with all these challenges already pre-packed into it. But as you can imagine, in a world where everything changes every day and all the new challenges that we face from the outside, we actually have the ability to provide custom challenges for our customers. So if they all of a sudden are seeing some challenges from a foreign adversary or from somewhere else, that they say, God, we really need to work on that particular challenge, and we have no way of doing it, they can come to us, and we can actually create challenges that will help people train to be able to deal with the challenges that they face every day. So that's something that we do customize. We have crowdsourcing. So those challenges that I just talked about, as each organization or each customer hires us to do that, with their permission, we'll actually put it into a pool so that anybody who's using this thing within the military can actually use those same challenges. Again, classified and unclassified environments. And as I mentioned before, we do have a force-on-force module to support this. And that's my name up there, and there's going to be a little bit more time. You got it? Cool. All right. I was going to do a demo, but the internet here is so spotty that I didn't want to embarrass myself with the things shutting off. So what I did is I took some screenshots to be able to show you the inner workings of the system. Now, there's a lot that goes into it for the individuals to be able to enter in their information so we know who each individual is that's playing the game or operating. So what I'm going to show you, though, is that what you as an administrator would be doing to manage the process. So as I mentioned before, It's challenges that you provide to these individuals, and you decide what challenges you want to provide them before they compete. So one way of being able to select the challenges is by category. So again, you see all those categories I showed you before over here on the side. So again, if you're going to be, there you go. If you're going to be setting this up, this challenge, what you do is you decide on a particular category. Then within that category, you decide on subcategories, the difficulty level. Here you see basic, you see advanced, intermediate, you see all the different levels. This is going to be all these are going to be using network traffic that's going to be generated by the system. Okay, and then here's the individual challenges themselves and what they are. Okay, so again, I mean, very challenging. I mean, again, a lot of variety there for these individuals. And again, this is functional learning, people. This is not just BS where they're spitting back stuff. They have to show that they know what they're doing, and this is how you provide a challenge for them to be able to prove that they know what they're doing. Okay? So that's one by category. The other one's by skills. So here's individual skills. And again, same situation. Take a particular skill. Again, you look at the categories. Here's memory for analysis, advanced. Now here are downloads. So this is different. So instead of using network traffic, they're actually going to be downloading data. And then from that downloading data is where they're going to be presented with their challenges, and they go forward from there. Okay? Okay, now here's where we go into the niche frameworks. Again, as I mentioned before, it goes by category. So here are all different types of jobs that are available, that are out there, where there's analysis for it. And same thing, pick a particular job, and then it'll give you a list of all the different tasks within that job and the different challenges that you can present to them. And then now, so here's one, NIST by work role, and then this is NIST by KSAs. So KSAs are the knowledge, skills, and abilities statements. And then within those statements, they're all numbered, and then so all you do is pick the particular KSA you want, and again, same thing, all the challenges are all presented to you. And this is a picture of one of the screenshots from the game itself. So this is, so you as an operator, this is what you would see. So when the game starts, boom, you go into this, and here you see the point levels, and then here this is the question itself, and this is where they would enter their answer. Now here's something that's interesting is that we actually offer hints. So again, going back to this whole thing about the ability of people at different levels without an instructor being there, what happens when they get snapped? Oh, I really don't know what to do. You can go into the hints. Now, the interesting about hints is that we call them good hints or bad hints. You as the administrator can basically not penalize them for using a hint. It basically helps them to get started. But let's say after 2 or 3 times, you start penalizing them. Every time they go into the hints, they get knocked down a couple of points. So again, there's ability to be able to offer them that capability to use hints, but also too there's an ability to be able to penalize them for using hints, because obviously in life there's not too many hints. You got to do it or you don't do it, right? Now here's another thing that's really interesting, and we call it a round manager. Now going back to that scenario at the beginning where we got 25 participants. So you're as a manager, you started the game, you got 25 players out there. You want to know what's going on. I mean, you want to know how these guys are doing or these gals are doing, and there's a way of doing it. Now, this is a unique in that you as a manager can actually click into any one of those individuals that's playing the game and actually see what questions they have, how many times they've provided answers, have they had wrong answers, how many times they've attempted, how many wrong answers they have, how many right answers they have. All of a sudden, if all of a sudden you see green across there flat out, you say, oh, this is too basic for this particular individual. Whereas others, you may see, wait a second, this person has been sitting on the same question for the last 2 hours and can't get it right. What's going on? You might want to go over to that person and say, hey, it looks like you're having a challenge. And then you can help them out. So again, this is a very active way of being able to participate in the training environment, be able to help people as they're going on before they get into that frustration level. And if nothing else, just monitor what's going on. And then going back to that knowledge base as I was telling you about, again, a lot of resources here, a lot of information, a lot of videos. I mean, how to use Wireshark, for example. So a lot of tools that are available to them. Again, same thing with the screen, except up here, you'll see under applications, you'll see all these within all these categories are tools that are available to them. So this is nuts. And then here's the terminal that you'll open up to actually manage the network traffic. From there, you can actually pull network traffic, save it, and then go into Wireshark, do analysis, or whatever you might want to do. And then again, going back to those two forms that we had before. And that's it. Anyway, any questions from anybody? We're in booth 400 if you guys want to get some more questions. Also, too, I invite any of you guys, if you really are interested in finding out more about this product and actually get a real technical, professional presentation and demo, please stop by the booth. We can actually schedule something like that for you and have our CTO on the line. It's actually a great product. And again, as I mentioned before, it's the only product I've ever seen where people get up and help each other, even though they're competing against each other. And also, too, the only product I've ever seen is we were running 4 concurrent sessions of 2 hours. At the end of the 2 hours, we physically had to pick people up out of their darn chairs and pull them out of the room because they would not leave. So people get addicted to this thing. Anyway, thank you so much for your time.
All right, well, thanks, everybody.